had a quick question. Like I have this cash buyer, and she's looking for a certain type of property, and the only way I'm able to find it is on the MLS list.
Okay.
So I actually have talked to a couple of realtors, and I sent them over your contract, but they all denied it. They were like, "No, we can't do that contract. We can't use that at all." Like, what should I do about that? Like, should I
Now,
just
so right off the bat, you know, wholesalers and realtors are like Hatfield McCoy, right?
Yes, sir.
So number one, don't tell them you're a wholesaler, and you're not lying to them, because the problem is wholesaler is you're boxing yourself in a category. And by the way, at their real estate school, I've sat in these things. I've literally sat in these schools. I've done it twice. I never took my license or exam. I just wanted to sit in. I paid to actually sit in. So once, honestly, it's through some of my employees through our own agency. They literally said right there, wholesalers are the worst thing you can ever work with in real estate. They'll scam you. They never want to buy the property. Avoid them at all costs. So so I love that you went to your cash buyer. You're looking for a particular type of property, and it's okay to go to MLS if you have a cash buyer. You know what they'll pay and what they're looking for. But the reality is, once you enter into a realtor world, you cannot talk wholesaling at all. I could have told you up front your contract would get rejected.
Okay.
It just. So which state are you in?
I'm in California, but the property that I'm looking for is in Las Vegas.
So the best way to do is find a board certified realtor contract for Vegas for an as is contract. That
Okay.
will be the most simplest version you can do. Now,
You
in the
said,
state of Florida, the realtor
let me write
contract,
this down real quick. What did you say? You said it was a board certified?
yeah. So it's mutually agreed on between the board of realtors and I guess the realtors association and the attorneys.
Okay.
And you're looking for just a simple as is contract.
Okay.
Now, a contract you can adapt to whatever you want to accomplish. The reality is why they don't like your wholesaling contract, because it's 2 pages. How the hell can you do real estate with just 2 pages when our standard contract is almost 20 pages?
Okay.
The reality is all that crap in between is just basically realtor and attorney templates for like, what if this happens? What if that happens? 3 million case scenarios that the odds of them happening are very low. But they do it because it does happen and they're trying to cover all their bases. So by you giving them a 2 page contract, you're freaking them out because you're just giving them the truth up front and they don't like it. And so you could accomplish the same thing with a 10, 12, or 15 page contract. Here's the key terms. You still have to agree on the price, right?
Yes, sir.
You got to agree on a deposit, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got to agree on a closing date. What's the one thing that you have to have in a realtor's contract to make your business work as a wholesaler?
I'm
What's
assuming the earnest money deposit.
Nope. You don't
Um
even technically need that, but that's negotiable.
um I don't know. I don't know.
You need an assignable contract. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it, dude. Do you understand the only difference between my 2 page and that 15 page crap is the assignability clause?
Okay.
And then the realtors, they have a box to check it. Now, typically in a realtor, it'll say a buyer may assign the contract and be released from liability, or it'll say buyer can assign the contract but will not be released from liability, meaning you can close it in any person's name, or the contract is not assignable. Those are the 3 options. In realtors, now they're taught to check a box. Here's your explanation if you do the assignability. And by the way, most of them will accept assignability, but still liable, which makes sense. And to go, so all realtors told assignability is bad, and that's how wholesalers scam people. It's not. The reality is, I don't know which company I'm going to buy it in. I have multiple partners, and depending on how much work we need to do with and what the final price and everything is, I have to have the ability to decide which company is going to do the final closing. It's not going to affect anything else. The reality is, if Mickey Mouse buys it or I buy it, you still get paid your commission. And that's how I talk to every one of them. Period.
Okay.
They're going to, like, the only thing they'll ever fight you on these contracts is the assignability. Outside the assignability, almost everything is the same. It's just a heck of a lot more legal jargon in there. And then you'll have a special addendum section. So if you come to like, hey, if you want to pay for closing cost, or you say, hey, the seller has to pay the last 2 years of back taxes, that's where you put it in. And that's like normal realtor conversation. So
Okay.
don't speak like a wholesaler, and just make sure contracts assignable.
Okay.
And then as
Okay.
far as an inspection period, the beauty of most realtor, they usually give you more time to inspect stuff. So
Okay.
it's not uncommon. So the standard in like my state, if you leave it blank for an inspection, is 15 days. I always put 30.
Okay.
Now, a lot of them like get really uncomfortable with that. The one thing, assignability, and you have to make sure you have ample time to get your buyer to get done what you need to get done, period. And that's
Okay.
it. Just same thing goes with probates. You can't put a probate contract. They're tough to put on the 2 pages because they usually have to be run by a probate attorney, and they get freaked out on those contracts. So remember, we talk about resourcefulness on this live. This is what I'm talking about. Learn
Okay.
how to be resourceful and just navigate through it. Listen, realtors, at the end of the day, what does a realtor want to do? Like, what's
They
their
want to
goal
get
of
paid.
doing a contract?
For them to get paid.
So just show them the paved road on how they get paid. That's it. You get
Okay.
just don't be, I'm a wholesaler. The minute you say wholesaler, they literally just close their ears. Even if you have something great to tell them, they will not listen to you.
Well, what's funny is because I was talking to the realtor, and I told him, I was like, well, because I told him I want a certain type of the fourplex, and he kept sending me like duplexes and triplexes, and I'm telling him like, look, these aren't really what I want, but what I can do is I could talk to some of my partners, and I might be able to get them interested into it, but I would have to assign the contract. And he accidentally sent me a text saying like, I'm dealing with another wholesaler. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, oh, I just pushed the wrong, but I didn't mean to send that to you. I'm like, okay. So I already know
Yeah.
he doesn't like wholesalers.
And listen, just if you're looking for a particular deal for that, just try not to rely on one realtor. It's just the truth of the matter, because they're not
Yes,
going to
sir.
rely on you. So don't
Yes, sir.
rely just completely on them. And then, guys, listen, I have some incredible realtors that I work with. I've been doing this a long time, but I'm just telling you, most realtors are just like, this is what I have in front of me today, and it's what I'm going to deal with. I recently called a realtor on a property I've been chasing down for years. I had a tip it might being sold, and I told the realtor, I go, hey, listen, just reach out to him, put me a deal together. This is what I'll pay. It's cash. I'm going to make it real. Realtor got busy, never called me back. I went on, I got another realtor, I got it done, and that realtor called me like 2 days ago. Hey, what about that deal? I go, that was 36 days ago. I've already moved forward. And I'm just telling you, they'll do it to you. And like, I do it back to them. And like, she got upset with me, but the reality is I need people to like move forward. And like, all I think about is my business and my scope. If you have 300 other things going on, like, I'm just going to get rid of you as fast as I can, because you're not going to focus and do what you need to do. So you get it. You're going to swap the 2-page contract for your state approved, the simplest contract that will pass the realtor snuff test. And I'm here to let you know, both contracts do the exact same thing. Just make sure
Okay.
you have your key points: an inspection period and an assignable contract.
Okay. And
End of story.
I also had another question because I talked to Zach last night, and he gave me his opinion on it, which was awesome. And he said like it wouldn't hurt, but it wouldn't hurt, and it's kind of gonna help me. But I wanted your opinion on it because right now I'm in this course. Trying to get my housing inspector's license, and reason why is just because I want to know more about houses and actually be able to, when people are talking to me about houses when they're trying to sell, I know what they're saying. Like, is that a good move, or should I just not
Wait,
done
say
that?
that again. You cut out on me. Say I missed
Oh,
part of that. The first part of your conversation.
I said that right now I'm taking a course on getting my housing inspector's license, and not saying I want to be a housing inspector. I just wanted to
Yeah.
know more about properties and stuff, and because I've been running across like people I've talked to that have been contractors, and they're telling me these different things that they're doing in the house and stuff, and I didn't know what they were talking about. So I
Yeah.
took the course to get more knowledge. Was that a smart move, or was that not a
Um,
smart move?
as long as it doesn't take away from your income producing activities, if it makes you more confident and comfortable, who am I to say that's not going to help you out? But
Okay.
the reality, though, is unless you're like a licensed contractor and like you do it for a living, the reality is a lot of homeowners won't take you and me words for it. I go, listen, your AC is shot. Like, I can look at AC when it's covered in rust and I'm sweating in your house, and you tell me the AC is on and it works. I go, your AC needs to be replaced. They don't give a crap what, like, well, who are you to tell me my AC needs to be replaced? The minute I go get someone to write up an estimate and give them the bill for it, they're like, oh yeah, my AC needs to be replaced. Do you understand? Like, sometimes you have to get it from a third party point of view, like, to get people. We get this all the time. I have people that I look up, I will see like a roof leaking. They're like, no, the roof's fine. I go, no, I'm pretty sure you got to get the roof replaced. So until I go out and someone give them an estimate and have someone say, listen, the last time you touched this roof was 19 years ago and the wood's soaking wet, and here's pictures in your attic to show you, they don't really believe me. I'm just every time, like, Unfortunately, I know a lot about real estate, a lot. I've been around a long time with it, but they really don't take my word for it. So it will help you talk to contractors and stuff like that. But sometimes the third party just kind of hitting them in the face helps with it. But honestly, if it makes you more confident, Ryan, like more power to you, but don't rely on that completely. But
Yes, sir.
listen, when I first started real estate, I didn't understand half the terms people told me. I'm like, what the hell what's an ARV? What's an MAO? Like what is all this stuff? And I had to just constantly research it. Nobody helped me out doing it. So if it helps you out, then go for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, and I appreciate everything you've done. I love you and Zach. You guys are awesome. Thank you for everything you've done, sir. I
Yeah.
appreciate
See, Ryan takes advantage when we have these lives. I know today's like a little bit of an off day, but like take full advantage of it. And so that contract thing, understand when you work with realtors, that's what you got to do. I get buyers often go, hey, I want this particular type of property. We know of them.
Yes, sir.
The fastest place I'll go to is realtors because I don't have to do too much work for it. Because the reality is we don't pick the properties pick us, and realtors have a larger inventory, but it comes with a lot of strings attached. But if I know this guy will pay 200,000 for a property and I can pick up one at like 190 with a realtor and like they'll accept my deal, who cares, right? And I don't blame you for doing it. And the more realtors you can have out there flipping up stones, because the reality is a fourplex, by the time you go out and market and get it, the reality is it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to find that particular property. And odds are you're probably not going to get the best deal in the world. So
Yeah, I'm
I
not gonna
agree
lie.
with the strategy you do with that.
Yeah, I've been working on trying to get this fourplex for like since February. Like
I
it's
know.
like
Dude, I hunt them. I hunt them like crazy. You have no idea how much I'll hunt that stuff. So it's you're on the right path. Just keep going. And remember, guys, when you're working with realtors, do not announce you're a wholesaler. It's not that you're trying to deceive or you're not proud of it, is your label. The last thing we need in this country is labeling anybody. Like
yeah.
we are a minority as wholesalers. We are severely picked on. We are considered predatory, dangerous. I don't know if you checked out, I had an entire expose piece. I got thrown in with a complete freaking, I'm not allowed to say that. That's what I was told. I got wrapped up with a national franchise company that records thousands of affidavits. And then I was busted for lowballing. Okay. But you got to understand when I present to a seller and I lowball and they take it, there's nothing predatory about it. It's a yes or a no. But it's like, because I'm a wholesaler and I give out information on the internet for free, I am the target. I don't care. I'm a big boy. I can wear it. And you got to understand, because we all labeled wholesalers, we fall in this negative connotation. So just stay out of it. Technically, you're a cash buyer. You're a real estate investor. If you have to go there, it's simple as that. Most of the time when I'm trying to buy anyone's property, and this is with homeowners, realtors, anybody, I'm just a guy trying to buy a property. That's it. And the more personal you can make it, usually the better off you'll do with it. So you got it, Ryan. Just switch up those contracts.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, man. See you later. Okay, let's jump over some questions. I got some on here. Where was it? Guy says, Rick, for probate, if there is no PR, but the spouse is listed, should we address the spouse or the estate of the descendant? So it just depends on in what capacity the spouse is listed as. Obviously, if they're the PR or the executor, then definitely. Here's a little trick for you. When you can't determine who the PR is, which stands for personal representative, or the executor, just mail your probate letter to the physical property, the one you're looking to buy, and then put on the front of it to the put the estate of John Doe. The letter gets picked up. It actually works really well. For the longest time, I chased down the heirs. I did it for almost 3 years. Don't do it. It's a nightmare. The reality is the PR and the executor, that's the person that the family member has chosen as the most responsible person in the family. And usually they've demonstrated the most trust and fiscal responsibility. And then it's their job to disseminate the assets, cash, whatever it is, the house. And so when you contact the heirs, I thought it'd be a resourceful way to get the PR's contact information when we couldn't get it. But the problem is there was a lot of drama, and the drama got me nowhere. And it was just hundreds of hours of endless conversations of family drama. And I don't want to get involved in it because I can't, like, honestly, we're just the people buying the property. You cannot make a family make a decision. So if you can't determine who the PR or the executor is, mail to the estate of John Doe. John Doe, you can replace that with any name, and somebody usually always picks up the letters. I've gotten a lot of deals off that technique alone. Honestly, if you don't have a lot of time, you don't want to do it. If you could just get the probate list and just mail to the estate of John Doe, Sally Smith, whatever it is, you'll do just fine. It's a little less detailed, but it still works. And sometimes we do that in markets where we can't always get all the information, and it works really well. So use that little tip. But yeah, I love that you're doing probates. Like keep doing it.